You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we've been up for a minute. They've been staring at the back of your
I'm
head.
watching.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not like my computer does not appear to that.
I know. That's why I was like, okay. Anyways, welcome to the show, guys. It is Saturday. We hope you've had a fantastic week, just like us. And, well, hey, here we are. We've all made it to this day. Well, at least most of us made it to this day. So welcome to Car Stereo Talk, the place we will answer your questions. Hold on. Gotta get rid of that. Fuck me for the whole show. So out of frame, we've been working on our new countertop that we're going to be making. That's going to have our CNC machine sit on it. We were doing that before we went live. We had like an hour, which was really nice on a Saturday, which is hard to believe. So here we go. Let's get started with the show. And good evening, Dave. How's it going? You beat me to the punch. It happens. Good evening, all. Evening, gents. And then let's scroll down here. All right. Oh, geez. It's going to be one of those days. Good afternoon, Ken. Cool from the Twin Cities. What's up? Hello from Cornwall, Canada. Hey, what's happening? How you doing? Hope you had a great week. Good evening, Kicker KSS 296 versus Ken 6903s. It's not fair comparison. The 6903 is a 2-way 3.5. It's not a middler. It'll destroy it. Now, if you take like the 2.5, the 6902s, which has their 2.5 in there with the Kenwood with the kicker, that'd be more of a fair comparison, and that would be tough. That would be tough because that 2-inch, the 2 3/4, whatever it is that they put in that is a really nice speaker. We know this. We know this intimately. It's a really nice speaker. So that'd be a tough call. Whichever one you prefer. I think you'd have to figure that one out. Hello. What's going on? Yo. Hello, gentlemen. What is up, Bobby? Austin. Yellow. Green. Hola. And before we get too far carried away, oh, look at that. Brad says, I'm running late. Good afternoon, guys. Hello, Brad. We were actually just talking about you because I was filling Fernando in on our SB conversation that we had last night. But anyways, hope you had a wonderful week. I'm sure it was peaceful on Friday without Brian there. This first segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Arc Audio. Now, they've come out with a new amplifier, and, well, that's cool. Good for them. But what they've really come out with, and this is why they came out with a new amplifier, is because they came out with a new harness right here. This cool, like, wind chime-looking harness right here. This is the culmination of many phone calls, pleads, and begs of, like, could you guys please do something cool like this? And then we end up with this staggered RCA, which is fantastic. So this allows you now to plug into your multi-channel amplifier, and you can now stagger them down so you don't have this big unusable jail audio type thing. You have this nice staggered. You can make, like, you can fan this out. You can do all kinds of cool mounts with it. And this is new. This is new and exciting, and I'm happy to say that, you know, I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get them to do this for us. But in the end, we'll all be happier for it. Now, the amplifier that this plugs into, and is the first amplifier to have it, of course, is this monster right here. The new X2 808, the Bayette connector. Yes. The new X2 808, this guy right here. This is an 8 to 12 amplifier. It's very similar in functionality. Well, actually, it has the same functionality as Blackbird. It just has the X2 chassis. And, well, it's less power. Believe it or not, it's bigger, but it's less power. But that's okay, because it's also a more affordable alternative to getting yourself into an 8 to 12. Dean is so happy, staggered RCS. I know, right? I know. But this guy right here is fantastic. So if you're looking to, if you've always wanted, and you're like, I want a big DSP amplifier, and but I want a big sub amp to go with it, because let's be honest, will the Falcon have those RCAs? Dave, that's a Brad. If you're looking, if you looked at previous 8-channel amplifiers and you've wanted a matching giant sub amplifier, nobody does that. Nobody does that until now, because they make it X2 2500. That's right. It's like double the size of this, and you too could have this 8-channel right next to it, and you could be balling like big time, like crazy. So big family of amplifiers. This has 4 RC outputs. You can do all kinds of fun and excitement with it. So make sure to head over to arcaudio.com and check out the full line of DSP. It's also iData compatible, so that means anything that you can plug an AR into, aka like DSR1 type stuff, this will do. So there you go. I had a phone call the other day. Actually, I was talking to Brian. He's like, "Oh man, I need to put something in a Dodge." And I go, "Uh-huh." He goes, "But I don't have the factory amplifier. What do I do?" I said, "You plug any one of your things into it with an AR and you'll rock and roll." He goes, "Yeah." I go, Yeah, because iData with Dodge, the factory amplifier comes out. You have every piece of cool hardware you could possibly think of for that. It's like iData wise, you can do two now. All our products will switch over. So now you have 2 8-channel amplifiers. You have a 6 to 8, an 8 to 8, an 8 to 12, an 8 to 16 DSP, along with the 2 DSP amplifiers that are all iData compatible. That's insanity. Anyways, you can find them at arcaudio.com. Let's get on with the show. I've talked too much. Okay, let me put the banner up right here. All right, moving on.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I get excited sometimes. I have a 16 Mazda 3 with the Bose system. Looking to bypass the Bose and run aftermarket gear. Any advice? Well, the first thing would be, can you put a radio in it? I honestly don't know, because I'd have to pull it up. If you could put a radio in it, life is going to be fantastic. Obviously you'd have to see who makes the interface for it, and that would be all the things of putting the radio in it. If there is no radio upgrade for it and you have to integrate into it, then you're going to want to look at something that has, first off, you need to find out, is it 9 speakers or 9 channels of output from the factory amplifier? Because you're going to end up keeping the factory amplifier. Now, that's important because you're going to want to analyze the factory system. This is true of any time you end up keeping the factory amplifier or the factory radio in there. You need to figure out what is actually happening. Do I have a center channel? Yes. Is it a real center channel? Meaning, is there data that is coming out of center channel? And if it's a Bose, this is the case, that is only coming out of the center channel, is not coming out of the left or right. That means it's got some form of upmixing in it, okay? Some form, whether it's generic, whether it's advanced. And while that's not a bad thing, it's not a bad thing, because that means that, okay, I need to retain the center channel. It's going to do some of the heavy lifting for me because it's already done. I will only have to do equalization. I'm not going to do time alignment because it's already taken care of. I'm just going to do some equalization, hit my crossover points, maybe add more channels. So depending on, like, if you have 9 speakers, but it's not actually 9 channels of output, which is the case with a lot of Bose. A lot of times there's pairs of speakers on channels with passive crossovers in there, and you could go active. Yeah. So there's a lot of options available to you. The first thing is, obviously, it's 2016. It falls within that we need to see if we can put a radio in it. If we can put a radio in it, then at that point, who cares? You can run buck wild and do whatever you want to it. So, yeah. Is the new X2 DSP, hold on. Is the new X2 DSP amp the Falcon, or is that a top secret stuff? They're not the same thing. No, because this is an X2. A Falcon, which you'll see Monday, I think, if Brad got it out. The Falcon is the bigger brother of the Blackbird. So we'll talk more. But that's the Falcon. So, and we'll find out more once we have it here, and you go, yeah, it's probably 9 speakers, but not 9 channels. Thank you, guys. Hey, no problem. That's what we're here for. I did.
He did. See?
He did.
He's on top of everything.
He did. Oh, well, then we're all going to find out Monday together, because honestly, I don't remember myself. So Monday, Instagram Live and the show, you guys will finally get to see what the Falcon looks like.
There you go.
I know. I'm excited. It's going in my car. I asked a question yesterday or day before. I have a 17. Okay, great. I have a 17 Yukon with Bose. Added an amp pro to feed the DSP. Do I only need one of those RCAs to feed the DSP? Or if so, what channel do I use? Front, rear, sub? That is a fantastic question. Ooh, that is actually a fantastic question. And we'll figure this out together. So let's kind of break this apart. Now, for those of you guys that aren't familiar with Amp Pro, we had a gentleman by the name of Ernie Hartman on like a week ago. Not this Monday, but the previous. Anyways, and he talked a lot about Amp Pros, educated us on a bunch of things that even I didn't know, and I've known about tons of stuff with the Amp Pro, nomenclature and all that other fun things. Okay, so the question is, I have a 2017 Bose. I bought the Amp Pro. What do I need to hook up? And that's entirely up to you, but let me explain why. The first things first is it's a Bose, it's a Yukon. That means it has a Toslink output. The Toslink is the cool little thing on the side. So you have RCAs, you have Toslink, SPDIF, digital, call it whatever you want. And that is a left and right output, non-fade, that just puts out a signal that is controlled by the volume. You can plug that into your DSP, and that is the only connection you actually have to make. Now, there's a switch on the side of the Amp Pro that says 2-channel only, in which case you're going to flick that, okay? Because that is going to tell the Amp Pro to route all the signals that are coming through the car, meaning sensors and stuff like that, to come through their dedicated left and right over the SPDIF, okay, the Toslink. That's the ideal way to do it because that reduces the risk of noise and all those other things. However, not all DSPs are set up to deal with Toslink. Like sometimes the volume could be perceived as too low, and that's where RCA comes in because the RCA has a gain stage and it can be louder, okay? And some DSPs that have crappy preamp sections, going RCA actually will help because you'll get more signal into the DSP and you'll be able to, pass it on down the line. Now, why would you use RCAs? Okay, let's say you decide to use RCAs. What do I use? Can I use front only? 100% you can use front only. However, the reason why front only can be questionably weird is there, like before you took the amplifier, was there noise coming out of the rear speakers only? I mean, is there backup sensors that are coming out of the left and the right? If there is, then you need to make sure you flick the 2-channel option only so that it knows to send everything out the left and right of that, okay? The reason why you would use front and rear is if you are going to be doing rear, okay, and you want to be able to fade it on the radio itself. So let's say you have kids and like they sleep in the back of the car and you're like, oh, we fade it a lot. So cool, DSP it all you want, but route the rear RCA inputs to the rear speakers so that you can still use the fader control on the radio. Now, if the fader control doesn't mean crap to you and you have nothing that plays out of the back of the speakers at all, yeah, just use the front two. It doesn't matter. Now, if you could also, believe it or not, you could also use the sub control, the sub output, because the sub output is a non-fade full frequency output that is controlled via the volume knob. All right, so now you say, ooh, that's intriguing because I could take that output, I could put the volume knob in like the center console, hide it, and then if I ever take my car in for service or something like that, I can literally turn the stereo down from there. And then when they work the volume knob, they can't go all the way up on it. So that's also an option. So there's no wrong way to do it per se. It's just a matter of where you want to end up because there's lots of roads to get to it to do all kinds of cool things. So you just got to think about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Pretty cool, right? That was a good one. What's the best 5-channel DSP? Okay, what is the best 5-channel DSP you'd recommend? So that's an interesting question because honestly, there's not a lot of amplifiers that are 5-channel DSPs. Everyone just kind of went with a 6-channel, which was bad, right? Now everyone's like kind of reeling from that, except for one company. One company did not. They went with a 5-channel DSP amp. And when I say, okay, so Down for Sound or something like that might make one. I honestly don't know. I was thinking the D4800. That is not a 5-channel amplifier. That is a 4-channel amplifier with 6 channels of DSP. That's a different question. Okay, but if you're looking for a true 5-channel DSP built into it, there is one, and it's the Audison. Audison makes a 5-channel DSP amplifier that is all set and ready to go. You have a big subsection, you have 4 normal sections, and you're good to go. It's just all set and ready. Now, with that being said, depending on what you're trying to do, you're asking the wrong question. And you say, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, so let's talk about, let's say, a Blackbird, which is 8 channels of amplification. All right. It's not a 5-channel by any stretch of the imaginations. However, it can be. You're like, wait, what? So channel 1 and 2 can go off to tweeters or front. Channel 3 and 4 can go off to mid bass or rear. And channels 5 and 6 can be bridged to a dual 4-ohm voice coil subwoofer, or 2 subwoofers for that matter, so that you could put 5 and 6 on one coil, 7 and 8 on another coil, and then you'll get tons of power to a single subwoofer that is dual ohm 4. Or if you decide you want to go 2 subwoofers, you can run 5 and 6 to one woofer, 7 and 8 to the other woofer, and technically you have a 5-channel. And in the software, you can go in and tell it, I want these 4 channels to just be subwoofer. So there's a lot of options. Just like a 6-channel can be a 5-channel if you bridge channels 7 and 8. It depends on how much power you ever want. Now, yes, the AudioControl is the only other one. They're a little hard to get right now. I don't care. Okay, so there you go. All right, VXI. Anyways, I was thinking Audison. But yes, AudioControl did have the D5-1300. Very nice. That's probably going to be your most cost-effective one if you can get your hands on it. Lots of power on the subwoofer, and then a VXI. I don't really think of that one anymore, though. I always just go to something else. Like, I want more channels than 5. Question for you. If you use the Echo Master backup camera in a vehicle, is there any difference in the view quality between, example, Kenwood 47S and Exelon 908? Yeah, so when you're using the Echo Master camera, it's only high res with an Echo Master screen or the high 10 or the Horizon 10 or 12. When you're using the Kenwood high res camera, they're actually both high res, but the Echo Master will down res to a normal composite style output, whereas the Kenwood camera, when you tell it in the settings that it has the high res camera, you're actually getting a better picture quality than you would with the Echo Master. The problem isn't the picture quality, it's the installation. And do you have enough room to actually mount the Kenwood camera, because it has a very stiff cable that comes out of the back of it. It makes it very hard to use in like a license plate application. If you're trying to if you have like a factory camera up in a handle and you're trying to retrofit it, that actually works pretty good, Eduardo. But like as license plate, no, it's terrible. I have a 16 Mazda 3 I have 6.5 components in the door with custom tweeter locations. Would you recommend replacing the in-dash 3.5s with another set of tweeters, or go with actual 3.5-inch speakers? If you have custom tweeter locations and you have a 6, a 3, and a tweet, I don't know about you, Fernando, but wouldn't you do a 3-way set?
For sure.
Yeah, I would do a 3-way set for sure. I mean, why? Yeah. That's like the dream, right? Do a 3-way set. So definitely want to do a 3-way set. I'm thinking about switching to the Helix DSP MK3 Pro, currently using the Tweak 88. I mean, obviously, I would argue and say, have you looked at the Arc Audio DSP yet? But that's just me, whichever one. You can watch Jeff's video, you can watch Brian's video, you can kind of decide which one you like. Oh yeah, and Brad said my wife's truck is wired that way, 5 channels on a Blackbird. What is your favorite double din nowadays, and why? That's a tough one. What do you think? Do you have a favorite double din?
The one that I have in the car right now.
That's not a double din. That's a floating 10-inch screen.
Yeah. Well, that would be the 6000.
The Sony 6000?
The Sony 6000.
Why wouldn't you want the 9000? Because I mean, the 9000 has all the high res stuff and all that.
That's the 9000? The
9000. So your radio in a double din is a 9000.
Okay.
So you have what, a 9001?
I have the 95.
Yeah, the 9500.
Yes.
And so the 9000 is your radio, but in a double din.
Right.
So if you like your radio and you like a double din version of it, then you'd want the Sony 9000.
Yeah, I would pick the Sony 9000.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'd take the Kenwood 958. which is the Exelon version, the XR Exelon version of the Kenwood. There is an advantage, though, in the Kenwood line. If you go up to the floating screen, like the 1058, they do have a different operating system and more features that are more in line with like the Sony, because the Sony 9500, 9000 have features that the 6000, the 4000, all those don't have. It really just depends on what your goal in all this is. So,
okay.
Ooh, good question. MirrorLink's going strong after 15 years. Nice. My home speakers I've had for almost 30. So, and they're still, we were killing it last night watching Mission Impossible. Yeah. Are the AudioControl DSPs out of date? Have they updated the software recently, or are they coming to new ones soon? Please let me know. As far as the software goes, they did a huge update, like what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they bought the company, it took a year, and then they, like a year and a half ago, that was like the last project that Jeff Smith worked on when he was there, was doing a huge update to the operating system, adding all pass filters, cleaning up the code, doing a ton of little tweaks here and there. I would not say the software is out of date per se. It's very functional software. It still works exactly the way it's supposed to. I'd say right now it's probably the most solid it's ever been. And when you compare it to other software out there, like JL with the VXI stuff, they've been making that for a long time. I don't know how many years. I'm thinking at least over 10 though. So I don't know. It's hard to say if software is out of date. What makes it out of date? Are there other features that you might want to get? Well, there's plenty of DSPs that are out now. So it's just a matter of what features do you want? And then the question is, do you even know what features you want? So it's hard to say, but no, the AudioControl software is still fantastic. One of the easiest ones to use. And speaking of that, let's head over to AudioControl, where, if you didn't get a chance to watch it this week, you definitely want to check it out, is the new video for the Epicenter Micro Pro. One of the big new features on this is that it does have a line driver now, which is fantastic, because why would you, like every subwoofer guy always wants a line driver. So all built in, line driver. One of the things we forgot to mention in the video, we talked about briefly on the other Epicenter Micro, the max voltage output switch is actually located here on the side. So it still has one. It's just on the side. Now it's on the top, because on the top, they've added the PFM filter right there to turn on and off, nice and easy. And that's if you want to play 20 hertz and go crazy in the back of your car, maybe 10 hertz. Well, you turn that switch back to 0, and you won't have that problem. But this guy here still comes with the 2-function knob. Check it out at audiocontrol.com.
Hey, Eddie, ¿cómo estás?
Hola. You gotta watch the Matrix scene with the bullets. I mean, so did I ever tell you the story about the Matrix? I'll get to your question in a second. So the Matrix came out when Haley was like 1. Okay. And I told Sue, I said, when the Matrix comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to go buy a Blu-ray player. Because up until then it was DVDs. And I didn't have a Blu-ray player yet. So the first Blu-ray I ever bought was the Matrix. It was a Sony, and I hated it. But that was their thing. So they were the Blu-ray guys. So I bought their Blu-ray player. Actually, it lasted forever. I hated it just because it was Sony, and at the time I'd had something else that was Sony and didn't like it. But this thing never broke, and it was fantastic. So it was just really me being a dick. But it played fantastic. And so Haley and I, when she was like 1 in her little bouncy chair, we sat there on Wednesday, because I didn't work Wednesdays, and just jammed out the Matrix. I think we watched it twice that day. It was so cool. Anyways.
Yeah.
Very intimate with the Matrix. First, Fight Club. Fight Club was an interesting movie, for sure. Will the Sound Lab get a DSP? If so, the Sony 9500 feed the DSP through Toslink or just RCAs? So the 9500 doesn't actually have a Toslink output on it. That was the
GS9?
The GS9 had Toslink. They didn't put it in the 9500. Right now, the best radio with the Toslink is the Kenwood 1058. That has the Toslink, along with their direct replacement radios also have it. That will eventually, one of those will eventually make it in there. As far as DSPs and amplifiers and stuff, these coppers, these are Fernando's. So he's got the 12 channel copper.
See, the only thing, if we go Toslink,
We're gonna run it. We don't have to
not
use
gonna
it.
be. Yeah, it's
No,
like,
we're gonna run it.
because I really wanna
Yes.
run all the RCAs.
Yes, we'll run them all.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do. We're gonna run everything.
Yes. Exactly.
Relax. We're gonna run everything, but we're also gonna run Toslink because that'll allow us to do some testing that we couldn't do before.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like for sure. But that'll be a minute. Dean, can a Helix Mini DSP be used on a Kicker Key 200.4 and a 501 if you turn off the bi-amp mode? I really like the stealth install of the keys. I mean, yes, but I wouldn't do that because that would be a waste of money, and I don't like wasting money. If I was trying to run a mini DSP into something, I wouldn't run it into a key or a 501. That would be counterproductive, and that would be double DSPing for no reason at all. If I was going to do something like that, where I was like, I want a mini DSP, I would probably pick up the Kenwood 803.5, which is their little 5-channel amplifier, which physically is probably, well, it is physically smaller than a the 200.4 and the 500.1, and it is about the same amount of power, maybe a little bit more for the highs, which is always better. But yeah, that would make way more sense than that. Now, Kicker does make those amplifiers. This is the funny part. Kicker does make those amplifiers without the DSP circuits built into them before Motorsport, and they're conformal coded and all that. They actually cost more, which is kind of funny.
So what happened if he already has a product?
I wouldn't. You're probably disappointed.
So you cannot use the 200.4 like
you can turn it all off. There's dip switches on the side. You can turn it all off. You can reset the 501 to be flat.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can reset everything and make it just a normal amplifier. But why would you? Like, I would never do this. This is so far like left of what makes any sense. Like, because more than likely the Kicker is going to do a better job than you will, unless you're an awesome tuner. So
you never know.
You never know. But I just, to me, this is kind of like, I wouldn't do this. It doesn't make any sense. I would just buy a 5-channel amplifier. I mean, if you really wanted to have some fun, what would probably make even more sense is looking at like the LX 5-channel. Get the LX 5-channel and the DSP.
No, I just see it like if he already has the stuff, it's like.
Yeah, no, I just wouldn't do it though, because like that's the whole point of having the Kicker stuff. I mean, if you need to DEQ something, you buy a key lock. Put a key lock in there and everything is great. So weird. Enjoying the thunderstorms. Howdy, y'all. What's up? Dude, did you hear the thunderstorms this morning at your place? Did you hear any thunderstorms this morning? Oh my god, at our house it was just insanity. Fernando, just go with the Helix and forget Dean. He's going to be mad for some time, but then he'll Why would you do that?
Yeah.
That'd be silly. Brian and Brad would be mad.
Yeah.
Because, besides, you should take your Helix out and put an ARC Audio in there and see how much better it sounds. Boom. Oh! I'm joking. I don't really care. Do whatever you want. In the ARC Audio world, how do their speakers compare to Focal or Morel? That's an interesting question. So there again, this kind of falls into one of those, like they have the RS speaker, which is their high-end speaker, which is going to be just like a Morel or a Focal as far as those goes. They have a big silk soft dome tweeter that they use. And like I've heard Brian's car, and Brian's car sounds amazing. And I've heard other ARC Audio cars, and they also sound amazing. But it's really hard to like build quality and all that stuff. Yeah, they're all there. Okay, they make an exceptional speaker. Brad and Brian and Fred and everyone at the office, they all spend tons of time making sure that whatever product you get, because it's a small company. At the end of the day, like the ARC Audio portion of it is not tons of people, and so everything that leaves that place is touched by somebody's fingers. And there again, Focal is no different. Focal, it's not a huge company. It isn't. And they make a ton of stuff in France, and Morel is not a huge company either, and they are very touchy-feely on everything that they make. So these are all companies that are not big corporations that like when we think of something, oh, it's huge. It's not. There's not a lot of people working at these places, and they are all very passionate about what they do. And so like when you say who's better or whatever, it's hard to say. But as far as build quality of it, it's they're all the same. They all care way too much, and that's why they cost what they cost compared to, let's say, just some random ass speaker. You know. Looking for some car parts earlier and found an old box in my storage. Found Initiative Car Audio and Electronics, December 1991. Ooh, what a throwback. Car alarms, corded cellular hand phones, pull-out decks. You know, it's funny because I sent Fernando a link to a video that somebody put up yesterday. I stumbled upon yesterday. It was a JBL vehicle from Daytona Spring Break, where they took an old truck and
like 1954.
Old truck, but it was the truck. It was like
no, that was the year.
Yeah, it was like 1992, 1993. Relax. And they built this whole fake truck with all these JBL amplifiers and headlights and speakers and
speakers on the tires.
The speakers and tires. The grill was a radio dial. You know,
that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. You saw the headers were amplifiers.
The
right?
headers were
and then like the speakers.
The carburetor.
Yeah,
you see that was
it was very nostalgic, and I was like, what made me okay? So the amplifiers, when it starts off, it has those purple amplifiers in the back, the white with purple amplifiers.
Mm-hmm.
So we sold a shit ton of those because they were the first of like the Chinese made amplifiers, and so that we had, and so they were very affordable. And there was one of them that was like this big, okay, and they were heavy. They were heavy. That's like they were the heaviest amplifiers I've ever like. They were. Some dude took that off one of our display walls, stuffed it down his pants, and walked out the door with it.
Wow.
Yeah, we got it back, which is funny because his friends ratted him out, and we found out about it. But it was like, how did he stuff that down his pants? Like,
wow,
it's crazy. It was crazy. But anyways, people do stupid shit. I think Sony HD71 was one of the first to allow MirrorLink connection. Did you guys ever have a successful use of MirrorLink? Just wondering.
That's good.
So the trials and tribulations of YouTubers trying to do videos with Pioneer back then with MirrorLink and all those other funds. I did go out and buy an Android phone because we're Apple guys to show MirrorLink, because that was one of the most popular questions that we would get is. And then also what was funny is, remember how many people would ask how to use MirrorLink with an iPhone?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, did you not read the description of what MirrorLink was? It's not.
That was not this?
Yeah.
This.
Yeah. So this is the old phone that we used to use to try to get MirrorLink to work. And the funny thing was we only needed it to work for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That was it. So as far as customers and stuff like that, we would straight up tell you, if you're planning on doing this, don't waste your time. Because it's not going to work.
We never sell the radio with
features.
that feature. No.
So even like the current Kenwoods or Pioneers that allow you to like do screen mirroring and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you can figure it out, good for you. But we're not gonna dig into that. You know, and I will straight up tell people, like, if this is why you want this radio, don't ask me for help, because I'm not.
And it's funny because in Latin America they sell this feature a lot.
Well, yeah, they figured out how to get them to work.
Right.
I don't care that much.
Right. It's like, holy moly, yeah.
Well, yeah, but the other thing too, yeah, there you go.
Not surprised, no.
Not surprised.
The surprise is when it works.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
it worked for a minute. That's just like the SC430. In the video we have of the SC430, we show the top screen actually mirroring the bottom screen. That part of the video was literally the only time we got it to work. We could never get it to work after that. And so when people come in and they ask, I have to tell them the story. Like, hey, it worked in the video. And then after that, we never got it to work again.
Yeah.
So no, it's not going to do anything for you. And there again, why? Yeah. But no, those were really cool features before Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And the other thing too is, like, even now with like everything is DRM'd. So like you can kind of stream like YouTube, which is great for music, I guess, but I don't need to watch a music video when I'm driving. I just need to listen to the music. But like everything else is locked down, like Netflix and all that stuff is locked down. So HDMI with a Roku is my foot.
I'm like, what the heck is that?
Ooh, speaking of foot, go ahead and pull up another question. Yeah. I have a funny one. So for those of you that have not watched the new Mission Impossible, there is a fight scene in Mission Impossible. So he has to do this unbelievable dive, okay, from a submarine. Physically impossible. Can't do it. And so he has to like oxygenate his lungs. So he's running on a treadmill. And then somebody comes to kill him because he's Tom Cruise. And that's what you want to do.
Okay.
And he gets in a fight with the guy. Okay. And Tom Cruise spent a lot of time in his
You're
underwear.
spoiling.
I know. Tom Cruise spent a lot of time in his underwear. Anyways, well, I mean, you know what's going to happen because there has to be something.
It's a fight.
It's a simple thing. Okay.
Right.
So in the fight, he's rolling around. You know what kind of shoes he's wearing?
Those.
Yes, he has Vibram 5-toe shoes on.
No way.
He has a set of black ones on.
Wow.
And I was like, I go, whoa, hold on. Is he wearing toe shoes? Oh, how gay.
Whoa. Sorry.
So Tom Shoes
with Vibrant
is wearing some crow. Yeah. So Tom had on
Tom 5
silly
shoes.
ass 5-toe shoes that I wear. So boom.
Tom Cruise with 5 shoes.
With 5-toe shoes.
5-toe shoes. There you
Yep.
go.
Vibram
That
toe
makes
shoes.
sense.
Yep. So I get to be like, hey, I'm cool like Tom Cruise. Or he's cool like me.
I think that would be you. Yes.
Yeah, he's cool like me.
He wanted to be like you.
I know. What was the layout of channels on the F-150 Platinum you just finished? That is a great question because we spent a lot of time thinking about that. And there is a backstory to it why we ended up going with those. Because at the end of the day, we could have just done they have a 12 to 14 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why didn't we just do that, right? That was a valid question. And originally, that's what the customer wanted to do. Fortunately for us, I have a good friend, Christopher McNulty, which is our tech support guy and your tech support guy. If you ever call Electromedia America, you're probably going to get Mr. McNulty on the phone with you. So I called up my good friend Chris and I said, hey, I got a customer here. This is what he wants to do. What do you recommend? And he goes, thanks for calling me because I don't recommend using that amplifier, especially with the size of speakers you were going to do. If we were going to do like Prima stuff, or like some Cento or something like that, then it would make total sense. But we were talking about using Voce and Thesis mid-bass. So really, that amplifier wasn't ideal. So we ended up going with the C8 channel, 8 to 14, along with the 1000, and then the C4 channel, which is the slave amp for it. How we configured it was actually pretty simple. 1 through 4 were the tweeter and the mid-range and the dash. Okay, so boom, on the 8 channel. And then the 8 channel, we took and ran the other 4 channels to the mid-bass and the rear doors, the coaxials and the rear doors. So they would be we wanted rear fill in this car. He wanted a nice, full, enriching sound. And so we knew we needed to put some power to those. And so we put those on the rear doors. And then we took the other 4 channel, and that was bridged to the mid-bass. So the Thesis were powered off of the other 4 channel. And then, of course, the JL subs were powered off of the 1000. So that's it. That's all we did. So, worked out really well. Everything played together really nice. And we were all happy. So there's plenty of sound. Lots of sound. So I geek out in listening rooms all the time. Is my favorite part of my job. It is my favorite part of the job. Yes.
When we went to his office into the Arcadio facility,
the
one thing that I really like, it was like, oh, dude, that is so cool. The Twitter pods that he made.
Oh, yeah. There's little speakers on his desk.
That they were like balls.
Yeah.
Right there in the top.
That was one of Brad's many science projects.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, dude, that is neat.
So the nice thing about a lot of the companies that like we get behind and we talk about is the passion for, obviously we work for some big companies. Kicker, Rockford. Those are probably 2 of the biggest companies that we get to work for. And the fun part is when you're talking to these guys, they're very passionate about what they do for a big company. Now, we also get to work with smaller companies and like Arc Audio, like AudioControl when it was AudioControl.
Yes, the omnidirectional desk speakers.
Yeah, the omnidirectional desk speakers. Those were
very cool.
Where the tweeter was not actually, it was just used as a brace to hold.
Dude, that was just insane.
And passion is very important. Like you need to have you need somebody that has. Thank you, Frank. You need companies that are passionate about what they do. That they love getting up in the morning and making audio, car audio, whatever it is that we have. And it's not always about like money. Like there's a money guy. There's always a money guy. Of course. Okay, there's always a money guy, and that guy, he's a pain in the ass. Okay,
he's always traveling right now.
He's always a pain in the butt. But when you have your engineers that are into car audio and they have stereos in their car, or they've had stereos in their car, and they love this stuff and they love the learning and the building, and companies like that, and like we talk, prime example. Yesterday we finished the F-150.
Yeah.
And the F-150 had a brand new pack interface because that's the brand new BO system. Like literally the first one we've done. There's only a handful of them out.
Yeah.
Okay, that people have started doing. And like I immediately knew that there was something that wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. And I called Ernie, head of tech support, and I said, "Hey man, I'm getting this." And he's like, "No problem, try doing this." And I said, "Okay, cool." And we noticed there was another problem. And I texted him and I said, "Hey man, we're finishing up and I'm having this problem. It's done this twice." And he's like, "I'm sending my engineer over right now." And I was like, "Okay." Sure enough, I mean, they are down the street. Within an hour, the engineer was here, and they had that F-150, and they were scanning it, and reading it, and doing all kinds of crap. They figured out what was wrong. And he's like, I will have an update for that by Wednesday, and I have to rewrite some code. And this is super cool.
Dude,
like,
I went and see what he was doing and what he was.
Oh, I had no idea what he was looking at. He was a nerd. It's engineers. Did you see it?
I went into his computer and I'm like, I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what this. It looks like an accountant. Yeah, like just numbers.
Yeah.
Just bars and numbers.
Yeah, he understands
Excel,
all that crap says.
And I'm like, wow, dude, that's insane.
So the cool thing is like when we get to talk to these guys and we get to meet them and their excitement, like he's like, "Dude, I'm so excited." Like this guy lives for these things. Like he finished it, and he's the designer of this product, and he came out because there was a problem with it to fix it.
This is good.
You can do some real cool stuff if you hide it from accounting. Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
they definitely passionate. So the guy was here. He figured it out.
Well,
I mean, that's what he said. Hey,
so
I think we figured it out. So.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. What engineering thought the crossover module and the old XTR and HTC amps was a good idea, and why did accounting sign off on it? Oh, for sure. So the old XTR amplifiers, first off, they used, so it looked like, the red ones we used to have.
Yeah.
Okay. So what they did is they took that heatsink and they cut a hole in the center, and then they made a plate that went over it.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of screws, they use these little Jesus clips. And they call them Jesus clips because Jesus clips. And I'm going to explain what they call them Jesus clips, because once you pop the top off, they slid off the thing and disappeared. And oh, Jesus Christ! So you call them Jesus clips because they're the first time you take one off, they're gone, and you're like, oh, and there's no extras. So yeah, okay. So once you figured it out, you're like, okay, hopefully you found a couple of them, because there's 3. Inside of that was a little circuit board like this big.
Yeah.
Okay, when you take the top off of like a Pico. Like
yes,
the top of
the
Pico.
dip switches.
Well, no, not the dip switches. The little things that go like, they either go this way or they go this way.
Okay. Yeah.
That was your crossover. So depending on what you wanted it to be, you took the circuit board off and you put all these little jumpers in, left or right, up or down, and then you tried to put it back in, through the through pins, and then you just hoped that it was right. And then if you got it wrong, you had to take the power off of the amplifier and do it again, because you can't do it while it's active. Yeah, it was stupid as hell.
No, so why would they design something like that?
They thought they were really cool.
Oh.
They thought it was really cool. Now, keep in mind, they have had crossovers with knobs that we could turn. But they thought this was cooler. It could have also been an accounting thing where, like, this was cheaper. A lot of the times, it's cheaper. So they do cheap stuff to,
That's what Brad hides everything from accounting.
Well, yeah, but don't let Brad fool you. Brad is just as thrifty as everybody else there. So, I mean, these guys, that's like, yeah, they're pretty. Anyways, this next segment has been brought to you by and is currently brought to you by the fine folks at Focal. If you're looking for an amazing speaker, I don't care what you look at. You can look all around. But if you haven't checked out the Focal Flax Evos yet, well, then you're not done. because these things are definitely our most popular line of speakers. You should check them out at focal-america.com for more information. Is Audio Frog good in quality sound? Oh God, yes.
They're talking about passion. Andy too, right?
Yeah, they're again very small company, one guy.
Very small. Very small.
Well, actually, three guys. Manny.
Yeah,
Manny.
His son.
Andy and his son.
Yeah,
which I can't think of his son's name right.
Jacob.
There you go.
Yeah.
They might have. Well, there might be an accountant or something somewhere. But either way,
he's like, "Hi, my name is Andy. I'm the owner." And then he's like, "Hi, I'm the accountant."
And there again, if you've never read anything by if you don't follow Andy Waymeyer, you should, because like he's very neutral as far as like he makes Andy's very casual guy. He's very California.
He's very California.
He's very California. He's like, look, man, we make some really cool stuff. It sounds awesome, and I want you guys to enjoy it. Like his whole thing is like, I mean, think about it. It's called Audio Frog. And the story of how they figured out the name was he just literally made a bunch of T-shirts with random car stereo names that they were just thinking of, and would walk around, go out to eat, go to public, go to the grocery stores. And the people, when they whatever shirt people ask more questions about, that became the name of the company. So that's why it's called Audio Frog.
What's Audio Frog?
Exactly.
That's what it's gonna be.
It's a high-end car audio company.
Oh, and it is.
And it is.
It is.
But that's why it's called Audio Frog, because that was the name that people asked about. I thought that was genius. Like, big companies can't do that. I was
thinking more like because we do big jumps.
Yeah, Smash Force Productions all day long. What new ARC audio amp, the 808, is capable of running a nice little system, separates in the doors, active, and a couple of 8-inch subs? Your thoughts?
So the new.
So the new 808 would do that perfectly fine. Yep. It would be a great little system, small system builder. It's 8 channels, so you can do all kinds of things. You can do active front stage, rear, and one sub. You could do a 3-way front stage and a sub. You could do a front stage, a center, and a sub, and a mono rear. So there's a ton of options that you can do with these 8-channel DSP amplifiers. So yeah, by all means, it's a fantastic little system. Does the Focal Flax tweeter fit the VW tweeter location brackets with 3 tabs? If you haven't watched our build, or what is it, Car Stereo Lab, where we got Fernando's new Taos, which is the Volkswagen, you'll see that nothing fits in that location, because as soon as you have to take that tweeter out, you got to break the freaking tweeter out. So we show how we put the tweeters in his Taos, in the A-pillars. And the answer to the question is, yeah, technically they'll fit fine. They'll fit fine. Now, if you want direct replacement Volkswagen speakers that will, like melt back into place, Focal does have the plug-and-play, a.k.a. Focal Inside, Volkswagen speakers that are made as a direct replacement. So it comes with the speaker that bolts right into the door. Yep. It even comes with the rivets. And then you have a tweeter, so you can cut yours off, cut off the little tabs, and kind of work it out a little bit. What's up, Bobby? And then put it back in and heat it back into place. Focal makes that for you. Yeah. But technically, any tweeter will fit there, because you're going to have to make a bracket, because you're going to have to break yours off.
Have to do modifications.
So, but if you watch our video, we show you how we do it. We have a laser, so I'll give up a little bit. We use a laser.
Ooh, surprised we have a laser.
I know, we have 2, because we're awesome. What's up, Bobby? Anyways. Yeah. But the Focal Flax tweeter, definitely one of my favorite tweeters because of its size. And yeah, like it drops into a lot of factory locations with almost no modification at all, which is fantastic.
Except from the VW.
Except for the VW. But like Ford's pops right in. It's so nice. Love it. 3D print those tweeter pods. Yeah, you could. I mean,
because like Austin has a VW.
I'm sorry.
Oh, dude, that's fantastic. I like it.
I mean, we made ours out of acrylic because we wanted to actually get them done in less than an hour. you know? And we didn't
in
need
10
them.
minutes.
We didn't need them. We didn't need 3D. So, but no, we would if we needed to. We can do whatever we want, and we make that decision as when we're doing something. What makes the most sense? Hey guys, does Paul have access to Helix composed speakers? And have you seen Helix speaker brackets? Yes, 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 and yes.
So if you're looking for it, just give him a
Give him
call.
a call. Get you whatever you need.
Send him an email.
We probably have most of those brackets in stock.
5starcarstereo@gmail.com.
Good
and
job.
He will get back to you.
Oh, you're so good, man. That was fantastic. Floating screen for a 96 Civic. Ooh. That'd get in the way of the air conditioner.
Just put an iPad.
I mean, you got nothing to worry about. It's a 96 Civic. The air conditioner doesn't work anyways.
Just put an big iPad.
Well, you got to take out the air conditioning so that you can, put the bigger motor underneath the hood. Spoon motor from Fast and Furious. I have a 2016 Ford Flex with the Sony system, and I purchased a DSR-1 and the AudioLink. Just wanted to make sure that is still a good route to go with when it comes to upgrading my audio. If you want to keep the factory radio, yes, that is fantastic. You'll love it. However, now you have Kenwood and JVC making direct replacement radios that'll drop right in there if you have the 8-inch screen.
For your car, yeah.
It's physically made for it. So that's a tough call. You also have the MFT1, which is also an iData dash kit. If you like your radio and it's still happy and you're still good, then yes, the DSR integration is going to be the best option for you. However, it's kind of hard to say that's the best option when honestly I would be pulling that radio because it's a 2016 Ford radio. I have a 2020 Ford radio and I cannot wait to get that thing out of my car.
But use an ARC audio? iData?
No, it's fine. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what we're doing, whether it's a DSR-1 or a PSM Pro, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's just the form function of the two. Yes, he has the best option. It's just, is there a better option? Then I would definitely remove the radio. Oh, look at Vera over here. Says, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Happy to join you guys for some stereo talk. I think you meant join you guys. But we'll go with whatever you want. Yeah, we know it's the Android push to talk. It's what it is. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. I'm pretty sure the VW engineers went out of their way to make everything as difficult as possible for DIY on the SUV. Oh, hell yes. On all their cars for years.
All the cars. VW. Right.
So the only thing that Volkswagen does that is like, oh, that's cool, is that they have, if you get an automatic, they have that one little plug on the firewall, which is where the clutch goes. Mm-hmm. That just is like this, like, grommet. Hey,
did you just pop it?
Yeah, and that like
make it open.
That's the coolest thing. The only
that's
other
the coolest
that's
thing.
Literally the coolest thing. The other thing is they do have adequate space in the running boards for wiring, but getting the running boards out of the car.
Oh my god, like, that's the worst.
Yes, and just getting like the only headliner I've had to replace in the last 20 years
was a VW.
Was a freaking VW.
Yeah,
because I couldn't get the clips out of the A-pillar.
Yeah,
and I ripped the headliner. Oh my god,
it was fun.
Oh man,
it was fun.
Never been so in my.
I don't know. All these manufacturers figured it out. You can do it in sections, right?
Yeah. Volkswagen,
Kick,
the whole thing.
Yeah, metal, the B-pillar.
No,
not VW.
No, you know why? It's because they're like, we got big machines, bro. We can make big panels. We got big machines. You guys got little machines. We got big machines. They got Archie size printers.
They got Archie size.
Yeah. Anyways, did MTX get the crossover idea from Rockford? I honestly don't know. I was never an MTX fan when I was younger, and I didn't really like Rockford either. I was an Orion guy. I love great companies now, wonderful people, like great, but let's be honest. They're all from the same part of the world. They're all from Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, they all live there, and that was the cool thing. Like when I got to talk to Wayne Harris this last trip at Mobile Solutions, just listening to the incestual amount of happenings between all of these companies that were there. Because think about it, you had MTX, you had Orion, you had Phoenix, Phoenix Gold, Precision Power, Rockford Fosgate, and probably there's a bunch I'm forgetting. All right there, and all these guys knew each other. So yeah, probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, it's a small community.
It is.
Yeah. So Vets and VWs for the wins. Yeah, SC430s. Vets. So Vets are funny because they're just not built well. A Vet is just not built well. That's the problem with a Corvette. You know. I'm going to buy a VW and send it to Dean to work on when Fernando is on vacation. See, luckily we all go on vacation at the same time.
Yeah.
So, and I don't mind working on Volkswagens. They're perfectly fine with me. I love working on them. I just taking them apart sucks.
It is.
I don't
They're
mind.
not that hard to work on.
They're
It's fine. It's just
and there again, I always tell people when you decide to start working on a car, whether it's a German car, an American car, there's a mindset that the manufacturer has, and as an installer or a de-installer, somebody that takes cars apart, you have to kind of figure out what that mindset. Like for years, Mercedes-Benz was all about hiding the screw, and there's one screw. And if you can find the one screw and take it out, the whole door just pops right off. And you're like, it was magical.
That was Honda.
Honda.
It's just
Honda.
literally one screw right there. The whole.
But so it's understanding the mindset of the guy that designs the car. And then you'll start to see these similarities throughout the cars. And that's the joy of been doing this for this long and working on as many cars, is you kind of get the ideas and you can kind of see the progression of it. It's like, hey, for the last 10 years, they've done this. What are the odds that they've changed that? Not very good. So, yeah. So anyways, there you go. Austin says, every car company has something that's a pain.
For sure.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. So it's okay.
The payment.
Out here in Phoenix, you can work on cars without rain. Yeah. And
you have to have a garage.
Trust me, I've spent plenty of time at Mobile Solutions out in the parking lot, under a tent and not under a tent, working out, and I know.
Yeah, I saw you.
It is.
It's hot. No, I'm going inside.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to work out in Phoenix.
Yeah, no.
This time we had the truck inside, and I was like, I will stay here and work.
Dude, when I help you to run the wire.
It was terrible. No. Yeah, and you had a tent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Hold on. This is a good one. Fix 86 or key lock. So one thing to keep in mind with this is that the Fix 86 is not capable of doing the things that the key lock does. And the key lock doesn't have as many channels as the Fix 86.
Okay, but it's not like the 86.
Doesn't do all pass filters or delay.
No.
Yes.
But did they did like some form of a DEQ?
It's just equalization.
Okay.
So it will only do equalization, which means if you're working in a modern car, it's almost useless. Okay. Sure. So if it all depends what you're trying to do. Like if you have a left and right output that you're trying to fix, the key lock is fantastic. And there again, let's say you have a Toyota or pretty much every vehicle on the road right now, and you have a base audio system that just has a left and right front. If you put a key lock on that, the key lock will fix all the problems that it can with those two channels. And you can take that into a DSP and everything is great. The fix can't do that. Okay. It can't do it. It just can't do it.
I mean, at this point is better product.
And the reason why is, the fix is very old.
Yeah, it's better product right now. You have a Mazda 3 Bose. So
and there again, there are other things that can do this. So like so most of the high-end amplifiers, like your Arc Audios, your Helix, your Audison, your Moscone, they all have de-equalization built into them that are designed to fix these issues. Now, some of them have auto functionality that allow you to do it on just like a key lock, and some of them have partial ability to do this. But if you have multiple if you have like a Bose system that you're trying to do all this on, it really depends. Like these are questions you have to ask yourself, like, why am I fixing all this stuff? If it actually, like, if your car image is really good, like there's a center and there's a sound stage and there's a rear effect, it's just not loud and it could like technically sound better, meaning tonality could be better. Well, then you don't have to worry about anything. Like it's all of that is done. All you have to do is add some speakers in and carefully play with the equalization. Carefully play everything and make it louder. Okay. So there's no reason to go in and fix all that crap. Whereas if you have a Toyota Toyota 2-channel, front and rear, and you're going to add all this stuff to it, well, that's where you actually run into a problem because the factory radio's 2-channel output is crap. It's full of stuff to try to make these 2 speakers or 4 speakers sound really good, and they don't. And that's where a key lock comes in and allows you to start back at 0. But you could also take one of these more advanced DSPs and do the same thing that the key lock is doing. The key lock just does it faster.
Right.
You know, so that it's in there again. There's nothing saying like if you wanted to go in your Bose and you wanted to, you could put 3 key locks in there. People have done it.
And I'm guessing you have the 7-inch touchscreen.
I don't know. Either way, it's okay because it's that time.
It is that time.
Oh yeah, the Mazda harness. I did.
And that's what I'm saying. That because
Yeah, you got that guy right there. Yeah. All right, guys. That is that, as they say. It is Saturday, and we are happy that you've joined us for this show and taken the time out of your Saturday. Hopefully, we got to your questions. If we didn't get to your questions, we're sorry. We'll be back Monday to answer some more of those questions. And of course, yes, we'll have the unveiling of the Falcon, so you'll get to see that on Monday. And that's it. That's the show. It's okay, Frank. We're good. But thank you for playing along.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. You're welcome. And we like to thank you for watching the show, asking great questions. We'd like to thank Focal, Moscone, Gladen, Arc Audio, AudioControl, and anybody else that wants to, come in and, DNF Tool Drawer. Great place to find a bunch of the tools that we talk about, or the IRTA. That's it. That's the show. We hope you guys had fun. How's your team doing?
They doing horrible. It's 20-0.
So
Third
Seattle
quarter.
is getting their asses handed to them by Green Bay.
Jesus Christ.
You guys have a wonderful evening. We'll see you guys Monday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.